Pack your bags, everyone. School's out for summer. I'm your host, Leo, and today we're going on a road trip. First stop, we're heading inland to Charleville to get some tunes for the journey.
It is an absolute pleasure to welcome Logann and Darcy.
I'm Darcy, and this was 4RRFM.
Then we're driving up north to meet some kangaroos who like to watch the sunrise. While we're on the road, my friend Amelia is at Cairns Hospital, so I'd love to say g'day. And finally, we'll jump on a boat and head up to Thursday Island. Before we hit the road, spend some time getting to know me. The longest road trip I've been on is from one beach to another. I couldn't swim, I couldn't walk, so we took a car to Sunshine Coast to Gold Coast. Might not seem far, but it felt like forever. If I were able to go on a road trip right now, I'd be heading straight to Uluru. It's a long drive, but as soon as I see that red rock, I'd go wow, wow, wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. My 3 essential items for a car. 1, air conditioning because it gets way too hot here. Secondly is the radio because you need tunes for the journey. Thirdly, snacks. You gotta have some sweets for the journey. My favourites are snakes, chocolates and gummy bears. Yummy! The best car game to play is by far Spotto. Here's the rules if you don't know how to play. It's a pretty straightforward game. When you see a yellow car, you've got to yell Spotto at the top of your lungs. First person to do it gets the point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the trip wins. My big sister Safi is the current champion, but I'm going to take her down. I'm coming for your title, Safi. I'm the king now. You can easily play Spotto in the hospital just by changing one rule. Instead of yelling Spotto when you see a yellow car, yell it when you see a nurse in pink scrubs. Spotto! 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 They're going to be confused, but you're going to get a point. Alright, legends, we're off to our first stop, Charleville.
Hi, I'm Darcy, and this is my sister Logann.
Hi, today we were at 4RRFM Charleville. It's really cool to be here in person because when I'm in the car with my granddad, we drive around and listen to the radio.
Our music tastes are a bit different. I am personally into AC/DC rock, love that smooth, beautiful and hard rock.
Well, I'm really into pop music like Guy Sebastian, Olivia Rodrigo. They're the best types.
Today, we're going into the radio station to see Daryl and discuss on what it's like to have our own radio station and to live in Charleville. Let's go! And here's the man behind the mic.
Guys, welcome to 4RRFM. You're going to come on the radio with me very soon? Because I may be out of a job, you know that, don't you? Because I think you guys are going to be very, very good.
Me too.
Very good. What do you know about radio, by the way? Do you know much about radio?
Well, sometimes it can be boring and sometimes it can be cool.
You probably haven't done radio before. There's something, when I first went to radio school, we had a really good announcing coach who taught us how to talk. And the thing he said was, this is really weird, you're talking to people on radio, but you can't see them. And one of the first things we were told was there's really nothing normal about sitting in a closed room with headphones on, talking to all the people you can't see. And it's weird, until you get used to it, it's weird. When you first start, it's really strange because you're talking to yourself. I'll talk to myself when I get older because I'm practicing for that now. You know, the great thing about radio, guys, it helps you communicate, it helps your speech, but also helps your confidence, you know, and it builds your confidence. That's why I've always think radio is great for young people, that even if you don't go into radio as a career, if you get involved, I'd love to get some kids in Charleville involved in the radio station. And I think to run their own show, because I think even if they don't go into radio as a career, to have the opportunity to do it and then get confident and be better at speaking and be better at sort of, you know, holding your head up high, I think that's where radio's really good, Logann. Absolutely.
Out outside, we were talking about who our favourite music artist was. Who would you say your favourite music artist?
I've got a couple, actually, Logan, and they're older bands. They're actually bands. One is from out of England. Actually, they're both out of England, funny enough. One is Dire Straits, and they had no money at the beginning when they started. They were in Dire Straits, and that's where Dire Straits got their name from. And there's another band that came out in the 60s, which is a long time ago, called Pink Floyd. And I love Pink Floyd, but I love country music. I've been very proud to be involved in Australian country music for probably over 25 years now. So there are guys like Lee Kernaghan I love, his sister Tanya Kernaghan I love. There's a guy called Graham Connors, comes from Mackay in North Queensland, really good singer-songwriter. So a bit of a mix of music, I've got to say, Logan, yeah.
I've got a question too, Daryl.
Yes, Darcy?
It's been waiting on my mind ever since I got here, actually.
I've been hearing your cogs in the brain turn. I knew there was a question there somewhere.
Yeah, how old were you when you first was on the radio?
I first got on the radio in actually 1998. So I would have been, I was a late starter. I would have been about 35 at that
35?
stage. Yeah, 35. My dad had a great friend in Brisbane who was in radio, and his friend got me involved in radio. And then I went to radio school. It was called AirTV, the Australian Institute of Radio and TV. I went there in 1999, and after I finished that course, I came to Charleville, and I worked at 4VL in Charleville.
We're about to go on the radio in a second. What's it like in there? Is it fun?
It's pretty good, yeah. But the thing with radio, there's two things. When you're a radio announcer, this is what we were taught at radio school. We're there to do two things. We're there to inform people. So we tell people about things that are happening around town. There might be some markets coming on. That's our job, is to let people know what's going on. But we're also there to entertain. Okay, so we're there to hopefully and in a breakfast shift and in an afternoon shift or a drive shift, we get people to go out of bed to work. So we're trying to make them feel happy to get into their day. And then whoever's doing the drive, Doris is going to be our drive announcer. And his job is to get people to go home, to get them in a good mood going home. So it's really important. We're there to entertain people, and we're there to inform people. And you know the other thing too, Darcy, if you imagine, you might have someone lying in a hospital bed and they might get the occasional visitor. If they have the radio on, we can become a friend to them. Even though they don't know us, they know our voice, but they may not know us if they passed us in the street. But in radio can be really friendly for people. So if you're a lonely person or you haven't got many friends, you can turn the radio on, and all of a sudden that radio is a friend to them. And that's a really important part about what we do.
Thanks, Daryl, but now we're going to chat with Luke. He's a station manager here, and he's Charleville born and bred.
Thanks, guys. It's great to have you at the station today.
I got to ask you, Luke, what's it like living in Charleville here?
It's great living in Charleville with a small community, and growing up here was great. You know everyone, and it's not like the big city. You know, you can get around town, go wherever you want and do whatever you want, you know. And yeah, I like living in Charleville.
My favourite part about living in Charleville is I get to play football, I get to hang out with my friends, play outside, do fun events, and sometimes even lock myself in my room and just watch my iPad all day.
Yeah, that was one of the same things with me growing up. I used to love playing footy with all my mates and all that sort of stuff, even just going to footy training with them every day after school, and then playing footy with them on the weekends at all the carnivals and that around. Like we used to have the Bungaroo Festival here when I was younger, and that was great. There was a lot of events for the kids, like three-legged races and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was great growing up in a small community.
There's a big kangaroo statue in the middle of the town. Is that to do with the festival?
Yeah, it is. The kangaroo represents the Bungaroo Festival, and yeah, it was like the logo for the festival. Yeah, so that's what it represents.
All right, Luke, I need to know, what's your favourite rugby NRL footy club?
I've been a Broncos supporter all my life. Growing up with parents that supported the Broncos all the time, it was a bit hard to go against the Broncos. My family's been Broncos supported. Like, my mother and father are hard Broncos supporters. Like, Mum was born in Brisbane, they got married in Brisbane and all that sort of stuff, and I've supported them since the beginning of the Broncos and all that sort of stuff. So I grew up a Broncos supporter. I actually like the Cowboys as well, so I sort of support them both. But yeah, I grew up a Broncos supporter, and I'll probably always be a Broncos supporter at heart.
Well, Luke, when we walked in, we seen a Bidgera sign. What's your connection with the Bidgera people here?
I'm a Bidgera traditional owner. That's the name of my tribe, the Bidgera people. So this was set up, I think it was in 1999 by my father, Ray Robinson. So he set the radio station up. We used to have the Bidgera Legal Service upstairs and the Bidgera Housing Company and a couple other Bidgera organisations. But yeah, they're all set up and run in here. But yeah, Bidra is the name of my tribe and my people. Yeah.
I actually like some First Nation singers like Jessica Mowboy. Have you had any of her songs or people like that on playing their music on the station?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's one of the things what we do. We promote Indigenous First Nations artists and culture and all that sort of stuff, you know, and Jessica Mowboy is one of them, you know, like there's heaps of them, like there's local ones, there's Uncle Archie Roach, Roger Knox, Yutta Yindi, Warumpi Band, you get all the different ones, like the new ones out now, you get Kid Leroy, Baker Boy and all them sort of mob. You know, we promote, that's one of the things we do to promote our culture and our educate the wider community on what First Nations artists are doing these days. You know, the NEMA Awards are this weekend, that's the National Indigenous Music Awards, so a lot of them will be getting promoted this weekend, and it's live and free if everyone wants to listen to it, but also getting inducted as Gurumul, he's getting inducted into the National Indigenous Music Awards Hall of Fame this weekend. So yeah, that's one of the things we do, and we like to promote our culture through music, and yeah, it's a great way to do it. Speaking of hosting shows, it's time for Daryl to start the breakfast show, so I think these guys better jump in the booth.
Alright, let's do it. Let's go.
This is Daryl. We're through here until 9 o'clock. It was a very special guest. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Logann and Darcy.
I'm Darcy and this is 4RRFM.
I just found out, we just chatted before we came on air, that you guys love rugby league. Tell me, who do you think's going to win this? The Tigers up against the Knights?
Tigers.
Logann?
Kalen Ponga's a really good player on the Knights. I'm going to have to go the Knights.
You're going to go the Knights on that one?
Yeah.
All right, go the Knights on that one. All right, we've got a song coming up now. This is Guy Sebastian and a great song called Choir. Do you want to introduce this one for me?
This one's my favourite song.
Yeah, okay, off you go. You introduce this one for me.
My name is Logann and today we're putting on Choir from Guy Sebastian, 4RRFM.
That's Logann. I'm out of a job. This is RRFM. It is 17 to 9.
What an epic first stop. It was so cool seeing a bit of outback Queensland. The furthest west I've been is Kangaroo. I went out there for an agricultural show. One of my hobbies is showing miniature horses. So I went out there for a competition. My favourite category to be judged in is Hunter, which is a mixture of jumping and agility. It's probably the trickiest, but it's a lot of fun. I'd love to see more of Outback Queensland, and hopefully showing miniature horses is the way I'll get there. Time to pile back in the car, legends, as we have a big drive all the way to Cape Hillsborough.
Hi everyone, my name's Farrah and today I'm here at Cape Hillsborough with all my hospital friends and family. It's a beautiful area by the beach right here in Mackay. Here you can experience some of the most amazing animals in Australia, our kangaroos and wallabies. It's all made possible by a wonderful man named Murray. He's a wildlife carer. Well, thank you so much, Murray, for having us here at Cape Hillsborough today.
You're more than welcome. The more people we get coming and look at our lovely animals, the happier we are. And it's really great to have you here today.
Thank you. So how long have you been a park ranger for?
I've been on the beach for 5 years looking after the animals. But my wife and I have been wildlife carers for 35 years and we raise and release orphan and injured animals at home as well.
Wow, what an amazing job.
Yes, it is. It's really good. Very rewarding at times and disappointing sometimes.
What does the kangaroos and wallabies eat, Murray?
We do put out a special pallet for them on the beach just to keep them nice and healthy, and also for a bit of crowd control as well to keep them safe. But actually what they come to the beach for is the mangrove seed pod. And the reason they come for the mangrove seed pod is because it's very, very high in minerals. And unfortunately our local grass doesn't have enough mineral content, so they're actually supplementing their diets on the beach by coming to the beach and eating the mangrove seed pods.
How do they sleep?
They can actually sleep in two positions. They can actually sleep when they're sitting down and you see them put their paws on the ground and you'll see their head nod off a little bit, and sometimes they lie right down on the sand or on the grass and go to sleep that way. Usually their heads are up a little bit because they like to be able to hear with their ears when they're asleep, because that's how they protect themselves.
Hey Murray, do you know how fast kangaroos run?
Yes, they can run up to 60 kilometres an hour, which is about the same speed we drive our cars around town. And in addition to that, they can actually run for 30 kilometres without stopping. Not at 60 kilometres an hour, but certainly they can run that far.
Wow, that is really fast.
Well, Murray, after all this amazing information we've gotten, I just have one question. How do you tell a wallaby from a kangaroo?
Okay, the markings are the easiest way to tell them apart. The wallabies have a white stripe on their face and a white stripe on their hip, whereas the kangaroos are just all grey.
Do wallabies and kangaroos travel in families or packs?
They travel in packs. The wallabies usually are up to around about 60 in a group, but the kangaroos are quite happy if there's 4 or 6 of them. And the reason they travel in groups like that is because of the food sources, and they both eat the same type of food, so they will be seen together quite often.
So there's some big kangaroos and small wallabies and big wallabies. How old can they live up to?
Well, the average age of a kangaroo and a wallaby in the wild is about 16 years old. But here at Cape Hillsborough, because they're fairly well protected, we do have one lady that's lived up to 22 years old, which is very remarkable.
So how well do you know the kangaroos on the beach, Murray?
I know them pretty well because I've been coming down to the beach with them for about 5 years. And the 4 kangaroos we know really well because they're very friendly. And there's about 5 of the wallabies we've actually named as they've grown up. So we know about 9 or 10 of them by name, and the other ones come and go at different times.
And what are their names?
Well, the kangaroos is Amelia is our oldest kangaroo, and then we've got Molly, and then we've got Lindsay and Ray, who are the 2 younger kangaroos. And with the wallabies, we've got Wally, who is the alpha male and responsible for looking after the safety of all the other wallabies. And then we've got Friendly and about 4 others that come and go that we know their names as well. So the wallabies and kangaroos start coming down to the beach before it's even daylight, because that's their normal feeding time, is from sunrise through for about an hour after sunrise. You'll see them eating during the day, but I'd like to know what time you guys got up this morning.
Well, we got up at 4 o'clock and it was really cold and dark, but it was all worth it seeing those amazing kangaroos and wallabies.
Thanks for having us today, Murray. It was a really special day.
You're more than welcome, and I hope you'll come and see our animals again one day.
See you later.
How nice having a couple with some kangaroos. That was an epic stop. If I could have a couple with an animal, I'd choose a dog. Obviously, it would mean the dog could also talk. I'd like to ask them, why do you run away so much? Stevie, do you know the answer?
Yeah, ripper question, Leo. Every dog has their own reasons why we like to break out. Now, some dogs are just looking for the best stick that they could ever find in their life. And some dogs are looking for a butt to sniff. Different strokes for different dogs. That's what I've always said.
Yeah, good to know. Now, as I said, my friend Amelia is up at Cairns Hospital. So if you don't mind, I'd love to pop in and say a quick g'day.
Hi everyone, my name is Amelia and I'm in Cairns Hospital. I've travelled here today all the way from Croydon, which is 8 hours west. We've got a big property out there with lots of cows and horses. Some things I like to do out at home is mustering, riding out on the bikes and sometimes going swimming in the creeks. When mustering, I tend to go put a hat and sunnies on little potty calves. Moo. I also like to put sunnies on my dog too. Croydon's a very lovely place. Everyone gets along and everyone knows each other very well. But because it's so far away, we have to rely on the Royal Flying Doctor Service. They do amazing work. Before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to my other 3 dogs, Lily, Leah and Izzy. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. Hope you enjoy Cairns Hospital.
Thanks for having a chat with us, Amelia. So far on our road trip, we've been able to get everywhere by car. But now it's time to jump aboard a boat, because we're heading to Thursday Island.
Hi everyone, I'm Faith and I'm here at the clinic with Dr. Anne. I'm here for a checkup for my chest to make sure it's strong and healthy. And how do we do that, Dr. Anne?
With an exercise challenge.
I start with my hand on the wall. And then I need to run up on the ramp as fast as I can. Down the stairs. And then 10 jumps on the trampoline. It's a little bit tricky, but I got this. And that's just one of the fun things that I do when I visit the clinic. See you later, guys! Bye!
What an epic road trip. I really feel like I was in that song. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Yeah, I've been everywhere. It was so amazing to travel around the state with you legends. Until we travel again, cheerio chaps.